Hey there. Ever feel like you're just not quite yourself sometimes? Like your choices, your thoughts, and even your decisions aren't entirely your own? We all like to believe we're the captains of our own ships, navigating life with pure, unadulterated free will. But what if I told you that beneath the surface, hidden influences are constantly shaping your every move, often without you even realizing it? It's a bit unsettling, right? In this video, we are going to pull back the curtain on some truly dark psychology secrets, the subtle, often insidious tactics that are being used on you every single day. We're not just talking about grand conspiracies. We're talking about the shocking truths hidden within your own mind and how others exploit them. It's time to get wise. The invisible puppet strings. Gaslighting. Let's kick things off with trick number 1, gaslighting. This isn't just about someone telling you you're crazy. It's far more subtle and sinister. Imagine a partner, a boss, or even a parent, quietly, almost imperceptibly rewriting the past. They might deny something they clearly said, or twist an event until you're left scratching your head, wondering if your memory's completely shot. Suddenly, you find yourself apologizing for things you never even did. The phrase, "you're overthinking," sounds so harmless, doesn't it? Yet, it's a tiny, persistent chip, slowly eroding your trust in your own perceptions, your own memory, and ultimately, your own sanity. It's an insidious process. One Ohio State study, for example, showed just how powerful this can be. After only 3 weeks of receiving subtle gaslighting emails, volunteers actually began to second-guess recorded facts they had once been absolutely certain of. Think about that. Verifiable facts made questionable. If you've ever walked away from a conversation feeling disoriented, doubting your own story, or wondering if you somehow imagined an entire interaction, congratulations. You felt the unsettling tug of those invisible puppet strings. It's a classic tactic used by those with narcissistic tendencies, aiming to destabilize you and gain control. It leaves you feeling confused and vulnerable, making you more susceptible to their influence. Love bomb, then vacuum. The cycle of addiction. Moving on to trick number 2, love bombing. The honeymoon phase, right? Except it's turbocharged and weaponized. This is where someone absolutely showers you with praise, gifts, intense attention, and those oh-so-sweet midnight texts. It's a chemical high, a rush of dopamine and oxytocin that makes you feel like you finally found the one or the perfect friend. They make you feel like the most important person in the world, creating an intense emotional bond very, very quickly. Then, just as you're completely hooked, they pull the rug out. That sudden, inexplicable withdrawal of affection feels just like a mild drug withdrawal. It's an emotional vacuum. Dating app abusers, masters of this technique, compress what used to take months of courtship into a mere 48 hours. Once you're emotionally invested, they vanish for a day, maybe 2, sometimes even longer. And what happens? Your brain, now craving that dopamine hit, starts bargaining. What did I do wrong, you wonder? What can I do to bring the nice version back? That frantic bargaining, that desperate attempt to regain the affection is the precise moment control flips. It's no longer your choice. The manipulator now holds the reins. This tactic preys on our fundamental human need for connection and validation, turning it into a tool for dependency. Trick number 3 is a personal favorite of the subtly cruel: negging. You know the drill. A coworker, perhaps a date, says something like, "Wow, I could never pull off that outfit with your body type." Good for you. On the surface, it sounds like praise, doesn't it? But it lands more like a paper cut, sharp, unexpected, and irritatingly painful. The sting isn't immediate, but it lingers. Negging works because our minds generally want to believe people are kind and well-intentioned. So, when we receive a compliment that feels off, our brains struggle to resolve the contradiction. Instead of dismissing the comment, we often run a self-critical loop. Are they right? Is there something wrong with my body type? Am I really pulling this off? This internal questioning subtly lowers your social confidence. And lower confidence, my friends, often translates to higher compliance. When you're feeling less sure of yourself, you're more likely to seek external validation and, critically, more likely to agree with someone who seems confident. Next time you hear a compliment that makes you feel worse, not better, flag it. That's not poor social skills. That's a calculated tactic designed to chip away at your self-esteem. Triangulation without geometry, the manufactured rival. Let's talk about trick number 4, triangulation. This isn't about shapes. It's about power dynamics. By cleverly importing a third person into a two-person dynamic, it could be an ex, a star employee, or even a fictional neighbor whose life always seems perfect. The manipulator creates a fake competition. Humans, by nature, absolutely hate losing perceived rank or status. We're wired to strive for position, to feel valued. So, when someone introduces this third party, you instinctively scramble to regain favor, to prove your worth. You see this everywhere. Offices thrive on it. I'm not saying Jordan's project was better than yours, but his numbers really popped this quarter, didn't they? Suddenly, you're volunteering for unpaid weekend work, burning the midnight oil, all to catch up to a standard that might not even exist or was unfairly set. You aren't lazy. You've been expertly triangulated. In relationships, it might be, my ex always did X, Y, and Z for me, making you feel inadequate and push you to overcompensate. This tactic creates insecurity and rivalry, diverting your attention from the manipulator's actions and focusing it on an artificial threat, all while they sit back and enjoy the show. The guilt guillotine. Weaponized empathy trick number 5 is a classic: guilt tripping. Oh, guilt. It's a powerful, almost unique emotion because it simultaneously makes you feel terrible and motivates you to fix someone else's problem. It's a potent cocktail. Advertisers know this all too well. Every day you wait to donate, a puppy goes hungry. It's designed to hit you right in the feels. But it's not just corporations. Friends and family use it too, often unconsciously. If you really cared about me, you'd drive me to the airport at 4 a.m. Or, after everything I've done for you, you can't even do this one thing? The defense against this. It's surprisingly simple once you spot it. Ask yourself, would a bank honor this logic? If a bank wouldn't hand over money based on that emotional argument, then neither should you hand over your precious time, energy, or resources. Guilt is designed to bypass your rational thought and go straight for your empathy. By framing the request as a test of your loyalty or affection, they make it incredibly difficult to say no without feeling like a bad person. But remember, your empathy is a gift, not a weapon for others to wield against you. Choice restriction. The illusion of freedom. Now for trick number 6, choice restriction. This tactic narrows your options so skillfully that every path presented feels like your decision, even when it's exactly what the manipulator wanted all along. Think about menu engineers, the clever folks behind restaurant layouts and pricing. They call it decoy pricing. That ridiculously expensive $200 bottle of wine isn't really meant to be sold. It exists only to make the $80 bottle look incredibly reasonable by comparison. You think you're getting a deal, but you're just choosing from their pre-selected options. In relationships, the script often flips to something like, we can either stop seeing each other entirely, or we can move in together. It completely skips over the dozens of middle speeds, the gradual steps, the myriad of other possibilities. When you suddenly notice only 2 extreme choices on the table, it's a massive red flag. Ask yourself, who framed this list? Who decided these were the only options? The power move here is to introduce options C, D, and E. Freedom returns the moment you break their false binary and reclaim your right to a full spectrum of choices. Don't let someone else dictate your perceived reality. Fatigue induction. The wear-down tactic. Trick number 7 is a sneaky one. Fatigue inducement. Negotiation researchers at UC Berkeley found that people concede a whopping 30% more after midnight. Why? Because when you're exhausted, your brain's executive functions, particularly your prefrontal cortex, are compromised. The tactic is simple, yet brutally effective. Drain your sleep, overwhelm you with data, wear you down emotionally or mentally, and then hit you with the real ask. Car dealers are masters of this, keeping you at the dealership well past closing through endless paperwork and negotiations. Toxic friends or family members might stage emotional talks that drag on until dawn, knowing your resistance will crumble with your energy. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that handles rational thought, impulse control, and decision-making, is your best defense. Protect it fiercely. When you feel this tactic being employed, walk away. Say you need to sleep on it. Then reconvene when you're fresh. A rested brain isn't just a happy brain, it's a manipulation-proof brain. Don't underestimate the power of a good night's sleep in holding your boundaries. The dark triad mirror, understanding the manipulators. It's important to understand who often employs these tricks. These tactics don't just happen randomly. They frequently cluster inside personalities that score high on what psychologists call the dark triad: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and subclinical psychopathy. Narcissism brings grandiosity and a lack of empathy. Machiavellianism involves a cunning, deceptive, and exploitative approach to life with no moral compass. And subclinical psychopathy adds impulsivity, selfishness, and a lack of remorse, often masked by superficial charm. Here's a chilling fact. One Canadian study discovered that people who score high on all three of these traits are 4 times more likely to rise into senior management positions. Not because they're necessarily smarter or more capable, but because they comfortably use others as rungs on their personal ladder. They see people as tools, not individuals. If you frequently feel like a stepping stool, constantly being used or pushed aside, it's worth taking a hard look at whom you're beneath, professionally or personally. Awareness isn't about paranoia, it's about power. Spotting these traits in others allows you to ladder out, not up, their toxic hierarchy. It's about protecting yourself and your well-being. Subliminal priming. The hidden nudge trick number 8 is incredibly subtle. Subliminal priming. This is where your mind is influenced without your conscious awareness. Remember that famous 1999 experiment? A single frame of a smiling face, hidden within a cola ad, boosted thirst ratings by a surprising 27%. You didn't see the smile, but your brain registered it. Today, streaming services might slip microsymbols that flash for a mere 0.04 seconds, subtly nudging your mood or reinforcing brand recall. You can't consciously perceive them, yet your amygdala, the emotional center of your brain, logs the data. It's like your subconscious is being fed information directly. The antidote here is intentionality. In a world saturated with subtle nudges, take a moment to pause. Name what you're feeling. Am I suddenly feeling anxious? Why? Then ask yourself, was this emotion truly mine, or was it planted? Labeling the source, even if you can't pinpoint it exactly, cuts its power in half. By bringing the subconscious into the conscious, you reclaim control over your emotional landscape. Intermittent reinforcement gambling. The slot machine effect. Trick number 9 is intermittent reinforcement, and it's the same psychological algorithm that casinos use to keep you pulling the lever. Think about it. Random rewards, a sudden like on your post, an unexpected text from that person you're seeing, a rare word of praise. These are incredibly powerful. Psychologist B.F. Skinner showed that rats will obsessively press a bar if food pellets drop unpredictably. They become addicted to the possibility of a reward. Humans aren't rats, but Instagram discovered we scroll in much the same way. That unpredictable hit of validation keeps us glued. If someone's attention or affection arrives only at random, unpredictable intervals, it creates a powerful, almost addictive loop. You're constantly chasing that high. The solution? Mute notifications. Create predictability. When you starve the loop of its randomness, you regain control. Predictability starves the manipulative cycle, allowing you to break free from the craving for their sporadic attention. Future faking, the perpetual promise. Trick number 10, future faking. This is a masterclass in dangling a carrot that never quite reaches your mouth. A manager might promise, "Stick with me for 6 more months, and we'll definitely talk about that promotion." Months roll by, you work harder than ever. And what happens? The carrot just inches forward. "Oh, we're almost there. Just need to hit this one last target." The promise never truly matures. But your effort, your loyalty, your energy, that's harvested today, right now. This isn't just in the workplace. A partner might say, "We'll travel the world together just as soon as X, Y, or Z happens." Or, "I'll change, I promise, once we move in, get married, have kids." Treat these future promises like a venture capitalist treats a startup pitch. What funding, what proof exists right now? If there's none, or if it's consistently delayed, adjust your investment downward, not upward. Don't pour your present into a future that's constantly receding. Your time and effort are valuable. Invest them where they are genuinely appreciated and reciprocated, not just promised. You walked into this video thinking you were the sole author of your life story, right? Now, perhaps you realize that some pages, some chapters, might have been ghost-written by unseen hands. That awareness, my friend, isn't paranoia. It's pure, unadulterated power. The next time a compliment stings, a choice suddenly narrows to only 2 options, or affection arrives like a random slot machine payout, pause. Just pause and ask yourself, is this truly mine, or is this a string being pulled? Spot that string. Gather your courage and cut it. Watch how tall you stand, how freely you breathe when no one else is doing the pulling anymore. Your mind is yours. Reclaim it.